भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं वहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम्। We are studying Shankaracharya's Bhashya or commentary on the first sutra of the Brahma Sutras. So this is called Jigyasa Adhikarana. Adhikarana means a section or a chapter. Jigyasa, because it pertains to the inquiry into Brahman, so it is called Jigyasa Adhikarana. So we were studying that, and we were studying Shankaracharya's commentary on that. In the previous sentence that we studied, we saw that the opponent or the Purva Pakshi, one who is opponent to the or has an opposite principle than the person who is writing the commentary. It is called opponent or Purva Paksha. Paksha means side, Purva means the other. So opposite side. That person said that, you see, in grammar, Sanskrit grammar, there are 7 cases, vibhakti. So there is something called shashti, that means 6th case, 6th vibhakti, which is used in the case of relation, sambandha. So he says that Brahma athato Brahma jigyasa. So the relation between these two words, that is Brahman and inquiry, jigyasa. So this comes in that particular case, sambandha. Sambandha means connection, relation. So Brahmasya jigyasa, the inquiry of Brahman. Ramasya griham. Ramasya griham. That means Rama's house. So this is the 6th case ending. So here the opponent is saying nanu. Nanu means not like that. So it is used to start or to show that I am opposing your statement. As we do in English also. No, no, no. Not like that. We say no, no, no. That is not true. So nanu. Shesha shashti parigrahe api brahmano jigyasa karmatvam na virudyate. So he is saying that even if we take this in the sense of relation, even then Brahman cannot be seen as something other than the object of jigyasa. Jigyasa is jnatum ichha, that means desire to know. So even if we take it in the sense of relation, Brahman will always be the object of desire to know. Why? Because here the focus is on a vishesha nishtha, that means on a special relationship as opposed to general relationship. So here we are not talking about a general relationship between the desire to know of a particular thing, but here we are talking about the special relationship. So Brahman will become the object of the desire to know. That is the objection. That is the objection. So he says that Brahman is the object of the desire to know. But here actually this person's original idea is not to say that Brahman is the object of the desire to know. The idea is he is showing, or the opponent, he or she is showing as though that person has got sympathy with the Siddhantin. Siddhantin means here Shankaracharya, Advaita Vedanta, Siddhantin's view. So, to show as though that person has sympathy, that person is saying that no, the object of the desire of knowledge is Brahman. But actually that person wants to oppose Shankaracharya. So he is talking about a particular relation. How is he opposing? He is bringing this idea of particular relation, special relation. And so he is opposing. But Shankaracharya, he refutes this argument, and he also, in the polemics, in the art of argument, he also is taking a stance as though he is sympathetic to the Purva Paksha's view. Just like Purva Paksha took a stance as though Purva Paksha is sympathetic to Shankaracharya's view, similarly Shankaracharya is also taking a stance as though he is sympathetic to Purva Paksha's view, though he is not. Why? Because he is answering in the same manner as Purva Paksha has put the argument, in the same methodology. What does he say? He says, Evamapi pratyaksham brahmanah karmatvam utsrujya samanya dvarena paroksham karmatvam kalpayatao vyarthah prayasah syat. So he says that you see, you are bringing the sixth case ending. You are bringing the sixth vibhakti, shashti vibhakti, that of relation. And then you are saying that it is not a general relation, it is a particular relation, etc., etc. So you are doing this in a circuitous manner. You are doing it in an indirect manner. He says, Evamapi, even if you have this kind of a logic, even then, pratyaksham, direct, brahmana, of Brahman, karmatvam, objectness. In a sentence you have subject, object, etc. So that objectness, utsrujya, rejecting, samanya dvarena, through the means of relationship in general, paroksham, indirect, karmatvam, objectness, kalpayatah, postulating, one who postulates, vyartha, vain, prayasah, labor, syat, there would be. What he's saying is, it would be vain labor, it would be unnecessary labor to reject the direct object of Brahman, objectness of Brahman. In this sentence or in this aphorism, Brahman is the direct object. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. So Brahman is the direct object of Jigyasa. It is the direct object of Jigyasa. So instead of taking it directly, why are you postulating or suggesting an indirect objectness by saying that relationship is there in general? Why are you doing that? Instead of taking directly the object, because it is directly the object, why are you saying this? It is not necessary, because Jigyasa itself means Brahma Jigyasa means automatically Brahman becomes karma. Brahma becomes karma in that sentence. That means object. So why do you give up this and you say that no, there is this relationship is in general relationship or in special relationship? Why are you taking this? So he says samanya dvarena. That means through the dvarena means through. Samanya means general relationship. Why are you doing it? Because this whole exercise is vain. It does not need to be done. You can directly, when you say that the knowledge of physics knowledge, so automatically knowledge object becomes physics. You don't need to separately say that there is a relationship, a general relationship between physics and knowledge. So that is not necessary. It is understood that this is the object. So why are you doing this? then again he says, why are you doing, means it is vain to do like this, it is useless, it is futile to do like that. Then again there is a logic, rationale given behind such kind of an objection. So the Purva Paksha, the opponent says, Na vyartha hai. No, it is not in vain. Na vyartha hai. Not at all. It is not in vain. Brahma ashrita ashesha vichara pratigyanarthatvat iti chet. If one may say, iti chet means if one may say, or if one may argue in this manner. What? It is not at all in vain effort. What is not in vain effort? To give up the direct objectness of Brahman in this aphorism and take a general relationship is not vain. Why? Why? Because Brahma ashrita ashesha vichara pratignyana arthatvat. Because it would serve the artha, purpose of putting all enquiries into into all matters related to Brahman, of putting into context or premising all enquiries related to the matters related to Brahman. That means Brahma ashrita, that whatever is related to Brahman, ashesha vichara, and all the inquiries, means ashesha means all, without exception. Asesha, all inquiries, vichara, pratigyan arthatvat. So the purpose, artha, is that you will put in context or put in premise everything related to the inquiry of Brahman in this. If you take this to be a general relationship, then it is not just object. Whatever is necessary for achieving that object, whatever is necessary for doing that inquiry, everything comes under this general relationship. But if you will take it in the sense of object, then only Brahman will come, because Brahman is the object. You see, so if you have to do Brahma Jigyasa, there are so many other things related which are indirect also, which are indirect, which are not related directly to the knowledge of Brahman. But for example, scriptural study, for example, study of this text, Brahma Sutra, it is not, one may say, directly related to the knowledge of Brahman, because knowledge of Brahman is not dependent on a text. So if you say Brahma Jigyasa, then only the object of knowledge of desire of knowledge, that is Jigyasa, object of desire of knowledge, that is Brahman, is concerned, and the other ancillary or related aspects will not be included. But if you say, this is the opponent's view. So opponent says that if you say that there is a shesha sheshitva, that means there is a residual connection, there is a connection of general relationship, then all other things connected with the inquiry of Brahman also come into the context. They are also taken into the argument. So that is why I am doing this. It is not, you are saying it is in vain. It is not in vain. Don't say that it is in vain. So this is the rationale of the Purva Paksha, opponent. Now in response to that, Shankaracharya, Siddhanti, he gives us yukti, means logic or rationale. Why does he think that it is vain? Why does he think that to give up the direct objectness of Brahman and to see a relationship, general or special, is in vain? He tells, na means no. Pradhana parigrahe tad apekshitanaamapi artha akshiptatvat. Brahma hi jnanena aptum ishtatamatvat pradhanam. Tasmin pradhane jigyasa karmani परिगृहीते यैहि जिज्ञासितैहि विना ब्रह्म जिज्ञासितं न भवति तानि अर्थ आक्षिप्तानि एव इति न पृथक् सूत्रयितव्यानि यथा राजा असौ गच्छति इति युक्ते सपरिवारस्य राज्ञो गमनम् उक्तं भवति तद्वत्. Very simple. He says No, your logic cannot be accepted. Why? Pradhana parigrahe. When pradhana means principle, something which is principle, main in an argument or in a statement, when that has been accepted, pradhana parigrahe. Parigrahe means when that has accepted. Parigrahe, to hold on to, accept. So when a principal thing, main thing has been accepted, tad apekshitanam, whatever is required by that main thing, api also, artha akshiptatvat, is also accepted because it becomes available by implication. So if you say, I want to eat pulav, you will not separately say, oh, in pulav we should put vegetables also, like that, because pulav means that. So if you say pulav I want to eat, that and you will not say, oh, pulav, then along with that you give me some kind of raita, something, etc. Because all this comes with that. If you go to a hotel and say I want to have dosa, you will not say along with give it sambar, chutney, etc. So you see, there were two boys. They had no money with them. Okay. So they went to a hotel and they said they had less money. So they had like 50 paisa those days. 50 paisa they had. So they went to a hotel and they ordered dosa. They said dosa. How much is dosa? So that fellow said it is 3 rupees. So those olden days, 3 rupees or 4 rupees. He said, oh. So if I order dosa, what will you give with that? He said chutney. The hotel fellow said chutney and sambar. Now how much does that cost? It's free. I said okay, then give me 1 plate chutney, 1 plate sambar. So like that, nobody goes to a hotel or a restaurant and orders dosa and says, oh, along with that bring chutney and sambar, because chutney and sambar will anyway come with dosa. It is a part of that. In fact, if chutney and sambar does not come, you will call the person and say, you will ask the person why you have not given. Similarly, when you hold on to a main thing, things which are connected to that, apekshitanam, that which is expected, that is understood, that is implicated, that is by implication understood. Brahmahi jnanena aptum ishtatamatvat. So Brahman, indeed, jnanena. So when we say Brahma Jigyasa, so here by means of knowledge, Brahman aptum, Brahman is supposed to be attained, because ishtatamatvat, because of it's the most desired thing. Brahman is the most desired thing. Ishtatama. So ishtatama, ishtatara. So it is the most desired thing. So you say, okay, it is the most desired, so automatically Brahman becomes pradhanam. It is the principle. That is the principle. And tasmin, when that pradhane, principle, jigyasa karmani, the object of the desire to know. Karmani means object, like in a sentence. So the desire to know, object of the desire to know is Brahman. But parigrihate, when that has been accepted. So Brahman, which is the most desired thing, which is the object of the desire to know, has been accepted, then yaihi, whatever things, jigyasitaihi, desired to be known, vina, without Brahma, jigyasitam, desired to be known, na bhavati. So whatever things have to be desired to be known, without which the desire to know Brahman will not be possible. That is the idea. So whatever is necessary for the desire to know Brahman to take place, those things are tani artha akshiptani eva. Those things are automatically implied. So when one says Brahma Jigyasa, you cannot say that the study of scriptures and all are not implied. No, they are implied, because if they are not there, Brahma Jigyasa will not be there. So whatever is necessary for Brahma Jigyasa is implied. So why have you to put so much of confusion and say general relationship, special relationship, and bring that? It is not necessary. He gives an example. And then he says, iti, and so, hence, iti here means hence, na, not, prithak sutrayitavyani. It is not necessary to be stated in the aphorism. Sutrayitavyani means not to be told in the form of a sutra, aphorism. Because it is understood. It is understood. You don't need to separately state that. Yatha. Then he gives an example. Just like Raja Asau Gachati. So, if one says that king is going out, Gachati, going out. That means iti yukte, if one says that when such thing is declared, Raja Gachati, when there is a declaration given, sa parivarasya Rajnyah Gamanam Uktam Bhavati. So, if that is told that Raja is going out, automatically it is understood that he is going with his retinue. He is going with his team. That will not be separately told. For example, PM is going out, so nobody has to say, oh, his security guards are going, his secretary is going, all people will go. PM is going, all of them will go. So, that is the thing. So, when Raja is going, it is not separately necessary to declare that his retinue is going, because it is Uktam Bhavati. It is understood to be declared. It is understood to be told. So, Tadvat. Similarly, if somebody says that Brahman has to be known, then whatever, or the Brahman is object of the desire to know, then whatever should be the desire to know to arrive at this condition of Brahman being the object of the desire to know, that is understood, that is implied. So don't tell it separately. That is the idea. Any questions? No questions. Okay. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.